With the votes secured, Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche is set to be confirmed permanently to his role, which means he'll continue leading the government's response to the Epstein scandal. Blanche's handling of the release of the Epstein files was a key point of concern for some Republican senators, including Lisa Murkowski, who said she will be a no on Blanche's nomination. Survivors of Epstein's abuse have been urging lawmakers to block Blanche's nomination, and several survivors accused Blanche of ignoring their concerns when he met with them after his confirmation hearing. One of those survivors who has been ringing the alarm bells, Danielle Bensky, joins me now. Danny, I want to get your initial thoughts on how we came to this point, because when I was reading Senator Murkowski's statement about why she was a no, she specifically talked about the meeting that she had with you and other survivors as one of the reasons that led her to vote no. And I wonder if you can talk about having that meeting, but then also you didn't meet with Senator Cassidy, right?
Right, yeah. So we have all kinds of meetings, right? All kinds of offices. And I would say we have those that just won't meet with us at all. You have some, like Tillis, who promise meetings and never follow through, that just really feels like a door slammed in the face, and it does not feel good. But then you have some offices that are really incredible with us. And Murkowski's office has been very open, very receptive. We've sent them leads. I know a couple of survivors from Alaska actually had a meeting with her and were able to really talk through the issues. And so she was really listening and ready to hear us. And so it's not just a win. It's just a win for survivors and everybody that's involved, for victims of this country. And I'm glad that she heard us.
Do you wonder if Cassidy's decision could have been different if he had met?
Totally. I do think that, it's why we urge so many of these senators to meet with us, because we have a lot of information and this case is huge. We're talking about 30 years of trauma, 5 administrations, all of that in the investigative leads. But we also need to talk about the redaction side of this, which I think a lot of the time people don't understand the severity of what was redacted and then unredacted and then redacted again. And then there's a whole timeline here to see that it was a game, and it was so abusive and re-traumatizing for victims and survivors. And that was at Todd Blanche's hands. That's not at Jeffrey Epstein's hands. That happened this year, not 30 years ago. So I think there's a lot of information there that we need to be able to share. And the only way we can do that is by taking meetings.
One of the other things that happened during Blanche's tenure as assistant, or rather the number 2 at DOJ, was meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell. And I wonder, now that he looks likely to be installed as the permanent AG, do you worry about a pardon or something else with her?
We've had a lot of senators and congressional reps tell us that there's no way a pardon could happen. We would never stand for it. But it seems like the president and the administration moves on whatever track they want. So that does feel a little bit scary for, I think, a lot of survivors. And I think we do worry about that, yes.
Can I ask how it feels to have done just this latest round of advocacy? And you and I often see each other in the halls, right? I mean, it's weird to be on set here together because I see you as you are there, pounding the pavement, going to these offices, attending these hearings, listening, and I would imagine being re-traumatized in the process of just trying to get justice and make it clear for the next generation of women that this kind of abuse can't stand. And I wonder in this moment, seeing Blanche likely to be confirmed, what it feels like.
Well, I think it's confusing to survivors across this country, as well as to all of us involved in this, because everyone knows the facts, right? And you see somebody like, I was just thinking about Senator Moreno recently and what he's going through and what his daughter is going through. So many of us have also experienced, and we have been victims of domestic assault and abuse as well. And my heart just breaks for his daughter. And I don't know how somebody who is going through that and seeing how much the system desperately needs to work for this, to end violence against women. I don't know how somebody who is in the throes of that can stand for somebody being the head law enforcement in our country who does not, it's not even that he doesn't support survivors, but actually has exposed survivors. There's a disconnect there that I can't fathom. And so it's why we keep pushing and we keep hoping that senators will do the right thing. And we hope that this country understands how important it is to make sure that victims are heard, survivors are heard, and that we stop violence against women, girls, and victims across this country.
As you hope very quickly, is there a hope for what Todd Blanche could do?
We hope that he opens investigations. We hope that he will just take violence against women very seriously instead of passing it off. Like, in that meeting, I think many of us felt like we were just a thorn in his side. And we were talking about one of the largest sex trafficking rings in this country. And there's just no weight, no gravity, no understanding. And it's a real shame. So I hope that if he is appointed, he has a real change of heart and he understands the importance of this.
Danny Bensky, thank you for coming on and talking to us about where things sit at this moment.
Thank you.